Okay, here is the part 2 of our preparation to the interview. Now we asked ChatGPT to give us some interview questions based on the company and the info and the position requirements. We answered some questions and we Googled some of the answers. So now let's continue with the React questions. Explain the React component life cycle. How did it change with hooks? Yeah, even the first one pisses me off because I used React like 2 years ago, and ever since I used Vue mostly. Okay, straight remember use effects. I'm literally now trying to remember React. I remember I learned it and it was all class based, and then it transformed to hooks, and all the logic went to hooks. Okay. I guess okay, let's just write it down to the failed questions. Okay, there should be some on-mount events also, like in Vue, I think. And as for the React components life cycle, I don't know. I can't remember. I used to know all that stuff, but that stuff is really useful. Only basically most of the time it's useful only on interviews and ability to answer this question. But okay, let's continue. What's the difference between use state and use reducer? Okay, these are some helper hooks that perform some state logic. I remember I used like I think both of them. Okay, use state. It's the main. Okay, use state. I think it's like the default one when you declare a variable. I think it's called use state. It's don't use it. I literally can't remember. But I used to program a lot with React. Now I switched to Vue 2 years ago, and I don't. I can't even remember. Maybe I could open some of my own projects first. Okay, let me give me some time. Okay. Okay, let's open this one. Painfull. Just remember how syntax works. Oh, it's JavaScript. It's not even TypeScript here. Yeah, useState is like ref in Vue. It's the main the main function to declare stateful value. Oh my god, I really have to remember all this stuff. It used to be my my primary framework. Oh dear. H. Maybe something more serious, like I used to work for some how do you call, what's it called, maybe on this disk, payever is Angular. Okay, I found it. Dotnet. Kaleidoscope, I think. Kaleidoscope was what? По пунктам, it is the side I did myself completely. But I think it's Angular. Handlebars. Yeah, it is Angular. Guards, features, layouts, pages. Okay. Maybe Kaleidoscope is also. I think this Geo project should be. No, I don't trust the authors here. Plugins, public, SRC, components, context. Create context. It's interesting. The component is a folder. It's strange. Use translation, use observable. Oh my god, they use observables in React code. This is so stupid. What I remember is use effect is like watch in Vue. It's used to watch for changes in dependent variables and then execute code. It's like a code watcher. And useState is just, it's the main way to declare a stateful variable like ref or reactive in Vue. useState. No, what is the best solution to remember React? I think is to create a new project. Interview. How do you create npx git create React. I think that's one way to create new project in React. The best way to learn is practice, so I think it's a hell so slow. Okay, compile life cycle. We'll Google that later. What is different with useState? Okay, useState used to just declare a stateful variable. Okay, the variable on which the whole re-render cycle depends in React. And use reducer is a simple storage helper which uses kind of a flux behavior. Like it provides functions, I guess, for actions, like for which do modifications and all that kind of stuff. Well, now I haven't been coding in Vue for so many years. I honestly speaking, I think Flux architecture is kind of bullshit, and use reducer, its usage was kind of limited back in the day, and now I think it's completely obsolete because it's kind of stupid. You make additional complications on modifying something. Like, I think there is no value in that. I mean, all that state storage moves to the easy path, like easy way, like Zustand and all that stuff, like simple, lightweight state managers. Forget about Redux. It's kind of stupid. Even its own creator, the guy who created it, said like, this is bullshit. Like, I would never use Redux now. And this reducer is kind of the same. I think it's kind of useless approach. Maybe for some situation it is. Well, I have to find an example or create it to remember better. What are high order components, HOECs? Can you provide an example? Okay, it's sort of wrapping one component inside of the other. Maybe it's like the way of constructing, adding different functionality. To provide an example, it's kind of, I know why it's useful, how is it used, but I just can't make up an example because I genuinely don't remember how to code in React. I think I need to start from basics. Okay, I guess it's installed and it's running. Why? Computers. No. Doesn't work for some reason. Huh. Didn't install anything. I think I'm using it. So stupid. Create new React application. Create React app. Is it a modern way to do? So is it a Node version? Ah, it's React version. Okay, React now has scary 18th version. I don't even remember which React I used, but it was with hooks. npx create React app my app. We're gonna use that, I guess. Create React app. It's so dumb. What are the higher order components? Yeah, this is wrapping one component inside of another to add functionality. I can't provide an example because I literally forgot how to even write components, and I even forget use state. No. How does React handle reconciliation and DOM updates? Well, after React sees that inside one component the variable declared as use state has changed, then it marks the component for an update, and that is run for all the components. After all the components there is finished being processed, there's a list of components which need to be updated, and all their parents also need to be updated because of their children. And then as many other frameworks, React has a shadow copy of DOM, and it compares, like, after these updates are made, what real changes should be applied to the real DOM. And so he makes only necessary changes, and it's like kind of speeds up everything. Redux and State Manager. What is Redux Saga and how does it differ from Redux Thunk? I have no idea what Redux Thunk is. What is Redux Thunk? High order components. It's also the question I can't answer now. So stupid. I mean, if I had this interview right now, I would completely fail. But if I had it like 2 years ago, I would completely pass. It's so stupid. What's the difference? Okay, use reducer, use state. I know use reducer. I also know, but just to remember syntax, I think it makes some sort of a flux state for one variable, maybe for one object, something like that. Thunk. I don't know what Redux Thunk is, but Redux Saga is a flux state based on actions, getters, and setters, and all that stuff. Really obsolete, really monstrous, and really stupid, I think. Not used much for normal people anymore. Explain the Flux architecture, how it relates to Redux. Well, Redux, I think it's... Maybe Redux is responsible for creation of Flux architecture. Or maybe not. I don't know. How would you handle global state in React applications? Well, I would use something like Zustand, some simple state, like similar to Pinia, modern Pinia in Vue, like simple state. Or maybe I would use a context in some circumstances for the shared state, like maybe, yeah, maybe depends on the difficulty of the application. Okay, we found out that I really need to code some examples or see my old code to remember, or maybe see some maybe videos to remember, because I don't remember shit about React. Okay, but TypeScript I do know, because it's also used in Vue. So what are type guards and how do they improve TypeScript code? Well, type guards essentially are functions that at runtime they test the properties of an object, for example, to be type of something, or to have some value. So they just evaluate the object using code, and in the end they state that this particular instance of an object belongs to this particular type, and that's kind of given. So TypeScript outsources all the checking to that function and believes the result. From now on, like if the function returns true, then the checked object is 100% of the known declared type. So that's is really useful in many cases. How would you define auxiliary types for deeply nested object? I'm sure I know how this works, but I don't know what is meant here. I mean, like, auxiliary types for deeply nested. What? Okay. What is auxiliary types? I know what it is, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know English. In TypeScript, what is it? You refine and transform other types. These types aren't standalone, but instead serve a purpose to manipulate existing types, like partial user. Okay, auxiliary types. This is okay. This required record pick. Auxiliary means this. Okay. Okay. It's TypeScript. How would you find auxiliary type for a deeply nested object? Yeah, I don't understand the question. I mean, I guess I will ask ChatGPT to clarify the question. Can you clarify the question? Is asking about how to define TypeScript types or interfaces for an object that contains nested structures or properties, often on multiple levels. Okay, I don't understand the question. Yeah, I mean, like, if the object is really complex, you just extract pieces of it outside. That's the correct answer. I don't know, I think it's a stupid question. Maybe it's my English. Provide an example of custom hook with TypeScript typings. Yeah, I used to did that one on an interview several years ago, and ironically I also failed it because I did know React, but I was new to TypeScript then, and I created a cool hook, but it did something with the state, but it like returned some value, like a variable, but TypeScript yelled at me like it was like a string. And the issue was, and how it's fixed, is you would use as const. But I didn't know that at the time, so I felt okay. I can provide you with a custom hook. I will definitely do that once my for some reason my npm doesn't work from the first time. My app. Let's try it one more time. Yeah, mate. Okay. Now it is installed, and no, I don't trust. Let's do. Let's see what it does. npm run def npm run start. Okay. It's a new project. Why? I mean, why? Okay, why not TypeScript? That is kind of stupid. Let's try again. Trying to create new React project. How to create a new fresh React project with TypeScript. Easy, modern way. Template TypeScript. Okay, of course, template TypeScript. I always forget that stuff. I used to forget. I didn't use it for 2 years. That's so stupid. Okay. Provide custom hook. I will do. I promise. Will provide you custom hook with types. What is immutability and why is it important in React? Well, it's the core principle, because before React, what people would normally do, they would mutate the state of DOM. They would maybe use a raw query like get document by ID, find some ID and make its inner HTML equal to something, and that way they will modify the appearance of the web page on the fly. But when you do a bunch of that code, the code kind of gets messy and unstructured, and all types of bugs occur because you can't control who changes the content and from what module and what's happening and all that stuff. So that's why React was invented. by guys at Facebook, I guess. And immutability is a core principle, and it means like when something is changed inside the component, when state changes the predictable way inside of a component, it's the only place where it can be changed, and then it renders it one way, like from the changing of variable up to the DOM. I'm not sure I explained it as clear enough, but I think interviewer will get the idea that I understand the topic. Can you give an example of a pure function in React application? In React application, like existing function or what? A pure function is generally takes input and outputs output and doesn't have any internal state. So all the components which have state, they all not a pure function. Pure function will be something like, I don't know many React functions yet. I can't say an example. But the definition is like pure function takes arguments and returns the value in a predictable manner and doesn't have any internal state or effects for that matter. Can you give an example of pure function React application? How do you handle side effects in React? Well, you put triggers on changing functions, like use effect, or there's some modification named use visual effects, which I guess runs later in the event loop and is better for some actions, and I'm not sure. Yeah, with the use effect hook. Specific question. Imagine the account application has React-based dashboard. How would you structure components for modularity and scalability? Well, first of all, there would be a page like component. The layout of the page would be a different component. Inside of that layout page component, there would be a sidebar, the application top, application bottom. Like login icon would be also in that layout outside of the page itself, and then after layout there will be the component of a specific page, and on that page maybe there will be some reusable components like widgets, like a graph widget which draws like a chart widget. Maybe some other info widgets will also be reusable components that accept parameters and do this stuff. If you encounter performance issues with React component, how would you debug and optimize it? Well, in React specifically, you should be careful with re-renders, because despite of it's been efficient and having a shadow DOM to optimize the rendering process, still it's kind of stupid even compared to Vue, because on every change of every variable it wants to re-render the component and all the parents up above the tree, and you should be careful of that. And usually you might just count how many times the component has re-rendered, and you get the picture what is messed up. Maybe 2 or 4 or 5 times is okay for a component on a busy page, but If you get more than that, I guess it's bad. And also, you just opened a performance meter in Chrome extension development tools, and you can pinpoint the issue. I guess I'll investigate that a little bit further. Suppose you need to integrate third-party charting library into React project. How do you approach it? Well, I would Google it, search it, like find the package of it on this charting library for React. I would npm install it and I would use it. I don't see a problem here. How would you migrate React component from JavaScript to TypeScript? Well, you rename it to TS. First of all, you make carefully constructed TS config file and the whole folder you set up to accept and package JSON, I guess, to accept both JS and TS files, TSX and GSX files. And for when you're ready to work with the component, you just rename it to TSX and start applying TypeScript to it one by one. And also, maybe it's a good idea to start with hooks first, like composables. Okay, next part, behavioral questions. Have you ever worked on an international team? How do you handle communication? I have worked and I handle communications pretty good. Tell me about the time when you identified potential before it became a problem. Identify financial issue. So I need to. Well, this is a stupid question. I can't remember any specific. Do I really have to remember all the situations that I had like this? I'm sure I had a lot, but it's kind of stupid to remember. How to ensure the code you write is maintainable and scalable? Well, how do I ensure? I try my best, but it doesn't mean it is. Yeah, I just try to fight my my desire to make custom frameworks. Well, that is specific my problem. Well, it's not actually my specific problem. I think many people suffer from this condition, but I had to calm myself down and forbid myself from writing specific frameworks, because it's not always the best idea. So I just try to code in the style which is normal for this particular framework, or you just follow the rules that are active in this company you're working for. You obey these rules, you make sure your linter is set up correctly, and well, you follow the principles of the company you work for. If it's dry code, then this dry code is better than not dry. But remember just to not to abstract everything, because that could be. Also, just try to write good code. Okay, good code is good code. Bad code is bad code. Describe a time when you had to explain a technical concept to a non-technical client. How did you handle it? Yeah, there's thousands of times, and I handle it pretty good. Mock challenge. You ask with implementing a feature in Node.js API that fetches accounting data from a distributed storage system The API must validate the input parameters, cache the data, handle retries in case of failures, log the time taken when the operation. Okay. Now we're back to Node.js questions. Well, I guess I would use Express server for this, and I wouldn't use Redis immediately. I would use some structured memory, I think, to store that data along with the time. We set up some const variable named timeout, refresh timeout, handle retries in the case of failures. Yeah, I guess I would intercept the I would carefully catch the outgoing requests and retry fetches. I think maybe modern Node.js has something like this, or maybe if you use some third-party library for fetching, like a Guzel HTTP or something like that, that handles retries, and use some. Okay, I will write this down. Node.js questions have failed. HTTP request library for retries Node.js popular Node.js yeah, I think this deserves its own video. Why? Can you also make a mock challenge for React also? it's I need a right task. Okay, I guess that is for another video tomorrow. I will ask it to create. I guess we use this. This as Node.js tasks, not tasks. I will use this as a task for Node.js, and I will ask a simple task that could be done in 50 minutes and make it also. Yeah, what I like about React though is like I think in React everything can be it's different files, but still I think you can make several components inside of one file in React. I remember using that. In some cases it makes things tidy and more compact and more readable even. Okay, I need some time to actually to remember React, and I could I need to get some answers. Explain the cycle. Well, the same question I will ask ChatGPT to answer. Class component line, cycle structure, static given state from render. It's used when components on component did mount. Yeah, I remember this. It's like unmounted in view. Mounted to the DOM. This often is for side effects like fetching data. Okay. I believe in the command state props change get your state from what is, I don't remember this one. Called before should component update. This one I remember. Like yeah, this rendered component if necessary. Get snapshot before update calls right before changes are applied to the DOM, allowing you to capture some information from the DOM. Scroll position. Component did update. Call after any has finished and changes applied to the DOM. Let's see if it's still unmounted. Component will unmount. Okay. Component lifecycle with hooks. Functional components. React introduced hooks in version 16 to allow state and lifecycle features functional, which previously could only be used in class components. Use state replaces this state class components and manage state with functional property. Yes, use effect replace multiple lifecycle methods like component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount. It runs side effects. I remember it returns like a function which is called on destroy. It's kind of funny. Okay, so we, when we moved from class-based components in React to hook-based components with TSX syntax, use effect replace like most of that shit, like component mounts, did update, will unmount by returning the value. Okay, if no dependency array is provided, it runs after every render, similar to component did update. If an empty array is provided, it runs once after the initial render, similar to component did mount. Okay, that's good to know. I used to know all this stuff because I used to make actual projects with React. If dependencies are provided, don't run any of them changed. Similar to component did update. Окей. Did mount. То есть пустое это array это did mount, если ничего, то это все, значит, значения. Если конкретные, то конкретные. Okay, use context to use callback, use memo. This hooks provide additional manager context. key changes with hooks, simplifications, side effects, combine the single alone, not granular control, state management, use state, use functional commands, their own state, making stateful logic reusable across multiple. No, this keyword hooks limit, then use this. Yeah, it slowly comes back. Like everything of that I did know. It's so funny. Well, I guess that's it for this video. I guess I will watch some React videos, watch my old code, and then I'm gonna write some test applications in React and Node.js. That will be tomorrow.